Hit up.
29 years in a row for there to be a party. Too cold.
Blood.
Good evening, everybody. It is a beautiful Wednesday here in Chicago. The sun is like blaring this way, so I kind of have the blinds down to give myself a little bit of a soft light effect here. Just a quick disclaimer, anytime I share yarn with you all, it's very... I love sharing my experiences with you all. YouTube channel has really given me the opportunity to just, instead of just having this art form to myself, it allows me to put it out there, and whoever's interested in watching it can enjoy some really good yarn fiber content. I'm all about sharing the experience and the wealth, so hopefully none of this ever comes across as pretentious or anything like that. I totally understand it can be very financially limiting to some degree if you want to create solely using a specific brand or type of yarn. Live through me, live vicariously through me, because not everyone can afford this and not everyone has access to it. And I am very humbled and grateful to have some great local yarn shops here in Chicago that carry things that motivate me. And this is my therapy for myself. And I never want to feel bad with creating my art as well as sharing my art with you all. Let's all have some great moments together, and let's all just enjoy and support all of these great fiber artists. And who knows, maybe if you save up your pennies like I do, because I save up all of my pennies and everything, and when I accumulate, I really go for it. So, sappy stuff is all done. First of all, I always go for the new Her Story. So if you don't know, I am obsessed with Knitted Wit hand-dyed yarn, and she has this series of yarn colorways called Her Story, which is yarn that she dedicates to the first woman to do a particular kind of thing or achieve a certain type of thing. So my local yarn shop has me on speed dial, so they let me know as soon as the new monthly one comes in. And so I always save up my money so I can get at least one of these every month, because just the creativity that goes into these is just so beautiful. Real quick, so this is Knitted Wit hand-dyed sock yarn. This is the colorway Persistance, and it is dedicated to Stacey Abrams. And so I got one hank of Persistance, and I just want to, let's go ahead and just kick this up real quick. So I'm just going to show it off. That's how it looks like when it's hanked up. And then if you open it, oh my God, this really, as I was purchasing it, the owner of the local yarn shop was telling me that this reminds her of like watercolors, and I totally see that. However, the technique in which she did this, in the sense of the color theory, was really speaking to me, and it's not too girly, not too feminine. Like, anyone can really pull off these colorways. I've seen hoodies that have these type of tie-dye colorways and whatnot. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and open this a little bit more. There we go. Okay. Check that out. Look at that. Beautiful pastel rainbow right there. I had some trouble seeing how I could actually combine them together, but then I realized that if I make the body these two colorways, because I actually have this green one is what this looks like wound up already. I came to the conclusion that I will be using this Her Story colorway to do like little mini stripes throughout the body of this. And this brown will be what's on the bottom of the cardigan, and mostly the body of it will be this green and brown. But let me just shut up and let's get winding. Look at that beautiful color. Check that out. Oh, beautiful little pastel. Now, this colorway here is called Pomo Basket. It's very, I would say they're definitely shades of brown, and this colorway here is actually like a pastel burnt orange. Super cool. I love her technique of speckling and just getting those stripes of brown in there. Go ahead and open this. Fixed it, haha, it was good. It was caught up in the yarn a little bit once or twice. So after I managed to like pull it through the hole, it's doing fine. There is a section where I have to like, it does get caught a little bit, but it should be fine for the rest of the skein. I always look good right before I film, and then I turn on the camera and my hair is a mess. Welcome back, everybody. So I just showed you me winding up all of that beautiful, beautiful yarn. Check that out. And I kind of got ahead of myself working on this. I just wanted to bring you in real quick to give you the update on the yoke. So here's the yoke right now. Dun, 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 dun. That looks really cool. I don't really believe in like labeling things as like girly or manly and stuff like that, but I did want to, that's why I chose this brown and green colorway, because I wanted to really focus a little bit more on darker undertones to go over, under the colorway. And now that I show this on camera, that actually looks pretty cool. I love that effect that like this light color looks like it's literally over the dark color. And just wanted to answer a couple questions that I always get when it comes to creating my yokes. First things first is you always want to measure, when you make the starting chain. I tend to go a little bit bigger. So if I do that, that's kind of like my test in terms of a nice snug collar, in the sense that it won't be overly too large. So whenever I make something, I do like my little head test. And if it kind of stays right at my nose is kind of like the indicator. It's kind of like the indicator of how big I want it to be. And I believe this was like 98 stitches, if I'm not mistaken. So 98 divided by 10, because whenever I say I increase by 10 stitches, it just means whatever your starting chain is divided by 10 and increase on that number. So for example, if this was 97, that would mean after every 9th stitch, on the 9th stitch, so you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. On the 9th stitch, you add 2 half double crochets, and then you continue on again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then on the 9th, you add 2 half double crochets. And it just gives you this really nice even. You can actually use this technique for tree skirts as well, which is what I discovered. So I'll definitely be doing that this Christmas season. And I kept going. And then normally right before I reach the shoulders, I would say maybe after like 15 rows, I increased 15 stitches. And the reason for that is I kind of learned from doing this so often that 10 stitches tends to make this a little bit too big. And when you start to go down here on the sleeves, it kind of like prevents your garment, especially if it's a sweater, not a cardigan. It prevents your garments from giving you flexibility in the armpit. And when you raise your hands, your whole garment will come up. So I learned that you really have to like stop kind of like here, right where the shoulder ends, because then you'll be able to move around your arms and not affect the body of the garment. So there's a little tip for you all. So yeah, so far so good. And I actually sized down. My girlfriend actually got me, because the Likey hook set that I have only goes down to a B, C, D, E, an E hook, which is a 4mm, I believe, or 3.75. So she actually got me a D hook, which is the smallest any wood hook can actually go down to, I believe. And this is a 3.25mm. And the difference is huge. Like I can still see a little bit through it, but it's not as stretchy as some of the other garments that I've made using Knitted Wit. And I just pulled out my knit kit to measure. Essentially, I tend to measure more on my shoulder. But like I said, when you close up your garments, it will stretch out a little bit more. So don't focus too much on the tightness of it. Give yourself a little bit less of what you're measuring, just because of the nature of the yarn itself. But I think this is low enough in terms of where I want my arms to go, because like I said, I want mobility in my sweater. I don't want it to come up as I raise my arm. I want this to be nice and fitted. That being said, I folded it in half and I measured one side, the 7.5, and then I just marked it with my stitch markers here, 2 of them, one going in one direction, the other one going the other direction, so they don't actually fall out. Hello, welcome back. So, wait, let me turn on this light. I have put this on just to try it out and make sure that my measurements are okay. But the body is pretty good, and I'm really liking how it looks with the stripes here. It's not too constricting here on the armholes. And like I said, the more you wear it, the more it will tighten on its own and loosen up. So not pretty upset about that. At this point, I'm just trying to decide, like I said, how big. I still got this much left, which is a lot. I still have this colorway to go. So this is technically supposed to be like the bottom part for the body. All right, almost time for my WandaVision. But here's an update, everybody. Check that out. I made the decision to, as someone pointed out, cohesive, to keep things nice and cohesive, which means balanced. I just repeated what I'm doing up here, down here, using whatever's left of the cake, which is this, of the hank. And essentially what I'm going to do is after this last strand, I'm going to use that as a divider. So as soon as I hit that, the rest of the garment will be in the other colorway. Welcome back, everybody. So I have not finished, but I started the bottom part of the garment, which I'm really liking the decision that I made. So I stopped. I just pretty much repeated what I did up here. And on that last line is where I did the transition of the color, which I'm not too upset about. I don't know, we'll see towards the end, but I cut the yarns, the other two yarns are right there. And now I have to decide if I want to, I think I'm going to take a break from the body because I do want to add some of this color, pastel color down here for the bottom part of the ribbing. But I'm going to start on the sleeves a little bit now. I'm just deciding if I want to use either the old, I might use what's left over because, you know, no two skeins are ever alike. So I might use the new skein to start the arms. And then we'll see how that's going to go. So I'm going to add the arms a little bit on both sides. That way I can actually do a slight fitting. I just have to decide if I want to continue this chunk for the arms as well, which I don't know. And I might just decrease maybe 3 stitches or 5 just to give this a nice snug look. Because remember, once you close it up, this part right here of the armholes, it tends to widen your garment a little bit slightly, just slightly. So I'm going to just make it a little bit snug so that way when it stretches and when you're moving around, it doesn't affect the actual garment. I just went live and watched a movie, Malcolm and Marie, live with you guys, so hopefully you joined me for that. And I managed to finish one of the sleeves, well, almost. I tried it on. I'll do a fitting right now. I'll do a quick fitting right now, but this reaches a little bit past my elbows, so I kind of wanted to go a little bit further down. But I think it will be a 3/4 sleeves, depending on how much yarn is actually left over, because I can get away with doing a beanie. I will definitely do that. I think it'd be easier if I have the camera like this, so you can see kind of like the full bodiness. Now, I will say, I thought I made my neckline a little bit smaller than what it is showing right now. But I'm not too upset about it because you can kind of see the shirt underneath. I haven't made a final decision if I want to add more to it to like kind of close it up a bit. But this is so far what I've done. I've done pretty much 99.9% of the sleeve. I'm not quite sure if I want to do all the way to my wrist. We'll see how much yarn I have left over. I have this much left of the yarn. And I still need to finish this part, which I'm on the brown. So you can pretty much assume that with this, whatever's left, because I have this little guy here and I kind of want to add, I'm debating what I want to do on the bottom here, because as you can see, it's right on the waist, but it will lift up. So I kind of want to make it a little bit longer so it is nice and snug. Well, now I know for future reference, I really need to stop maybe here to do this thick stripe, because here it's really a little bit too low on the chest from where I kind of want it. But luckily I have these thin stripes here to kind of break it apart, but I would definitely move this up here. But other than that, it's super cozy. It's not too tight. And I mean, if I really, really wanted to, I could like stretch it out. And because of the nature of the hook that I used, a D hook, yeah, D 3.25, it really is retaining its shape. So as much as I'm like pulling this to like stretch it out, it's still retaining its shape, which I love, love, love that. So it's not overstretching or anything. All right. Oh my God. I just woke up. I made myself a cup of coffee and oh no, I'm breaking out. But final notes and reveal. Let's get started.
I never think, I never know. I'm stuck and left alone. I've been lost, I've been found. My cause is not defined. Won't you kiss me?
Alright, so that was the reveal. It is very nice and comfy. I love the neckline here. It goes easily over your shirt. It doesn't ride up. And like I said, after a couple tries or putting it on, it just loosens up and gets a nice relaxed fit, even though it's a little bit fitting to my body. That's what I like. I like this style with the quarter sleeves. And hopefully all of the coloring looks good on camera as I'm seeing right now as I'm doing this. So thank you so much, everybody. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already. And share this video with a couple friends, and I will see you guys in the next video where we will try. We got a couple Valentine's Day videos coming this week. And also there's going to be a secret giveaway. So if you stuck around to the very, very end, you will know that there will be a secret giveaway in my next upload because we have finally reached 4,000 subscribers. So be ready for that. It'll be somewhere in the middle of the next video. So keep an eye out for that. And thank you so much for staying to the end. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
I never think, I never know. I'm stuck and left alone. I've been lost.